our neighbor Pakistan is up to. Well, the advisor to the Pakistani Prime Minister on Foreign Affairs Sartaj Aziz said initially that the Pakistani government was presented with only insufficient evidence on the alleged Indian spy Kulbhushan Yadav. Addressing a full Senate chamber, Sartaj Aziz said that the dossier on former Indian Navy officer Kulbhushan Yadav contained mere statements. It did not have any conclusive evidence. He said that, however, in a U-turn later on, Pakistani authorities said that there was enough evidence against Kulbhushan Yadav.
These issues could have been taken to the floor of the House. In a parliamentary democratic process, all such issues are to be taken for discussion. But unfortunately, due to government's very arrogant attitude, which Advani ji has prescribed as disgraceful, I better want to repeat it and see that in next 3 days, the surgical attack be discussed after this demonetization issue, and government should rise to the occasion.
पाकिस्तान क्या कह रही है, क्या नहीं कह रही है, ये पब्लिक के लिए वो सुनाते रहते हैं. हम अपनी इंटेलिजेंस साथ रखें और अपने देश को सुरक्षित रखें. बस यही अपनी नेशनल प्रायोरिटी.
But in fact, let's go across to Polomi Saha, who's joining us with the very latest on this. Well, Polomi, a lot of it is going to hinge on how exactly the External Affairs Ministry is going to be viewing this entire admission, which allegedly came in from Sartaj Aziz. Despite the flip-flops being made by Pakistan, later on they even went ahead to say there's enough evidence. But do we expect the Indian establishment to take up this case actively and pressurize them to show us evidence of that they may have of his alleged associations with Indian intelligence officers, or at least try and release him if they don't?
Well, for the moment, of course, the Indian establishment will wait for that investigation, which is currently underway in Pakistan, to complete, because they are preparing a dossier, as they say, in terms of putting together evidence to try and suggest that Kulbhushan Yadav was, in fact, an RNAW agent who was conducting some sort of subversive activities in Balochistan. And that is what the Pakistanis are trying to prove. We've always maintained, we've not denied that he's an Indian, that he's been known to the government because of the fact that he was a former Navy officer who sought retirement and was then, working in his personal capacity in Iran, and from there we believe he was abducted, and then this entire allegation which was put against him by the Pakistani establishment in order to try and embarrass India. We've always maintained that he's been a former naval officer. So we'll wait to watch what kind of evidence does Pakistan put together. Yes, it is a shot in the arm for the Indian establishment, that kind of admission coming from Sartaj Aziz in the Senate, in the Pakistani Senate, where he's basically said that there is no conclusive proof against Kulbhushan Yadav, and there needs to be more evidence in order for him to actually put together a case in front of India that indeed Kulbhushan Yadav is an RNAW agent. But for the moment, of course, it appears that the Pakistanis have got their foot in their mouths, really, because, of course, earlier they were trying to blame the media, saying these are media reports based on hearsay about what the Sartaj Aziz may have said, but it is based on what he said in the Senate, and it's irrefutable. It has not been reported by the Indian media, it has been reported by the Pakistani media.
However, later on, Polomi, a rebuttal has come out, and they have now said, of course, that Sartaj Aziz said no such thing. However, let me also quickly bring in Ashish Singh, who's also joining us, Assistant Editor for Defence. Well, Ashish, interesting developments are coming in. The flip-flops being made by Pakistan. Many are saying this is what happens when you try and lie and try and furbish evidence which you don't have.
See, that's right, Meghna, but we must look at the way Pakistan, using the Pakistani media, has been trying to test the water. It must be seen as an attempt by Pakistani government to send feelers and understand how would the Indian government react to it. They are aware that there is hardly any evidence against Kulbhushan. The Indian government had made it very clear when he was arrested earlier in this that Kulbhushan was not operating as an Indian agent, but he was in the national. He was basically business there. He had the local business there that was established. But Pakistan is in the way after surgical strike in the last 2.5 months, the way India has retaliated, both at the military front and at the diplomatic term, India has conquered Pakistan. The Heart of Asia summit in last week was one of the big examples that Pakistan felt extremely cornered, not only by India but Afghanistan as well. So this attempt basically is trying to see how would India react to it. They are basically setting slightly feelers so that they can gauge the Indian government mood. There have been at least 2 issues as far as capturing Indian nationals are concerned. One, the Indian Army soldier was detained by Pakistani Army on the day of surgical strike. Army. And second, Kulbhushan Yadav, who was basically arrested by Pakistani agencies, claiming that he was operating as a raw agent. So if you look at the entire larger picture, Meghna, this basically is an attempt of Pakistan to just test the water, see how would India react to it. If we get positive reaction from India, then certainly this is one attempt, one plan through which Pakistan wants to start communicating with India.
Well, in fact, do stay on with us. Javed Iqbal is also joining us, a defense expert from Pakistan. Well, Mr. Islam, perhaps Iqbal, you can perhaps explain to us exactly why the flip-flops being made. This is not something reported by the Indian media. It is your own Pakistani media which said that Sartaj Aziz made this admission on the floor of the Senate. Why a U-turn now?
The thing is that I think it's a very straightforward and very correct thing Sartaj Aziz has done. He didn't say that he was not caught with the evidence. He said not enough evidence. You see, the thing is, when we talk of evidence, like we are asking from you, that there should be enough evidence that a man should be prosecuted properly by the concerned, government.
Mr.
So
Iqbal, if there's no evidence, then let the man go. Free Kulbhushan.
Why let the man go?
Because you have no evidence. If Pakistan has no evidence, you cannot violate principle.
When we give you the dossier, or when we expect that you also provide the evidence which is sufficient to prosecute him. And so he only said that we did not, the dossier is not yet complete. He didn't say there is not at all any evidence against him. He said that not yet complete,
He said insufficient evidence. What? Well, Mr. Iqbal, I'll just come back to you. Farida Khan, a senior Pakistani journalist, is also joining us. Ms. Khan, if you can perhaps put the entire flip-flop coming in from the Pakistan government, whether or not they have any evidence against Kulbhushan, if you could put it into perspective with the political narrative.
Well, this is Gharida Faruqi here, and I hope you are addressing me. And
yes, I am, ma'am. Sorry, I apologize for the
That's okay. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I have seen the Senate proceedings of yesterday. I have gone through all those documents which record the Senate proceedings, and the thing which was reported as it was reported yesterday was incorrect. Advisor Foreign Affairs Sartaj Aziz did not say that the government of Pakistan does not have any evidence. He said that the agencies, the intelligence agencies and the investigation agencies are working on the case and they are gathering different evidences. So far, the evidence which has been presented to the government of Pakistan, that is not complete. We are waiting for the complete of the incident. That is, for example, if there is 100% of the evidence which is to be come up for that Kulbhushan Yadav, the Indian state agent. So out of that, more than 50% has been given to the government, and they are waiting for the rest of that to be taken up completely, not just with the Indian government, with the Indian counterpart of Sartaj Aziz Sahab as well.
But that's rather interesting, considering there were media reports, and this, of course, coming in from Pakistan. This is not concocted, as often the allegations are from Pakistan that concocted by the Indian media. These are media reports coming in from Pakistan. They themselves are the ones who reported that Sartaj Aziz said that there is insufficient evidence. However, now we have a complete U-turn. But we leave it there. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Ms. Faruqi as well as Mr. Iqbal, thank you so much for joining us.